So our final storyteller is Bhante Seewalie. He is the abbot and the president of the Minnesota Buddhist Vihara in North Minneapolis. He was born and raised in Sri Lanka, and he's currently a monk. He also leads meditation sessions all over the state, including in the prison system, and has worked in hospitals as well. So he's very engaged in our community. So let's welcome him.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Nathan, and the church here. I'm happy to be here with you today to share my story. And you know I'm from Sri Lanka. Minnesota is bigger, 3 times bigger than Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is one of the South Asian country. I was born and raised in Sri Lanka. I came to the United States when I was 33 years old. But I became a monk. I'm a Buddhist monk, the full ordained Buddhist monk. I became a monk when I was 12 years old. 12 years. That's the tradition in our country. I have a connection because my mother's side, mother's uncle, my grandpa, he was a senior monk. So I became a monk under him. But when I was 12 years old, when my parents, when they donated me to the temple, the ones who want to be a monk, the parents has to donate their child to the monastery. That's the tradition. Then, since the 12 years old, then I studied in the monastic community. And 6 months later, I became a monk. And 8 years later, I became a full ordained monk. That's the tradition. And at the same time, I did study my basic monastic education, and then the university studies, the bachelor's and the master's, those stuff. It's in Sri Lanka. And also, I taught as a teacher for the monks, the monastic school, and I was a principal for the monastic school almost for 10 years. With my childhood, I had a lot of experience, but you know, when someone 12 years old, when they left from the parents, it's how hard to live, this kind of things. So after I became a monk, my family is the community, my family. My congregation was my parents, like my family. That's in our country. Mostly after I became a monk, the name is going to be changed. One part of the name is the village name where I was born, because the representing the village, he's from that village, like that. It's not the individual things, the village representative. So since I became a monk, I was engaging with different community activities and Dhamma school and with so many activities. And also while I was in Sri Lanka, I did organize some community activities and events with other monks together. In 2003, I moved to United States. In 2004, we started the Minnesota Buddhist Vihara here in Minneapolis. And I was with the Vietnamese community in Blaine, Vietnamese temple, for 2 years until we buy the temple in Minneapolis in 2006. But since 2004, until today, we have many activities based with our Buddhist temple. Not only the spiritual activities, there are many community activities too. At the beginning, when I was studying at the ESL class, yes, Sri Lanka was under the British until 1940, from 1815 until 1948, as he mentioned. In Hong Kong also the same. But we did study some kind of English, but after I moved to the United States, I went to the ESL classes. In my class, I had different friends from Africa, from Cambodia, from Laos, from Vietnam, from different countries. They had different accents. And we studied together in this great big culture. That's a wonderful opportunity for us to learn something, language and the culture. And then after I completing those classes, I was volunteering at the ESL class to assisting to the teachers too. And then I was helping at the after we moved to our temple to the North Minneapolis, and we have a city view school cross street from our temple. And me and other monk, we were volunteering to the students, to helping them to read the English and the mathematics, just for kindergarten and grade 1. We're doing those things. And also, I became a board of director for the McKinley Neighborhood Association, just a community work for 2 years in North Minneapolis. And same time, I became a volunteer chaplain for the Minneapolis Police Department. I was volunteering for that almost 5 years. At 35W, the bridge collapsed. That time that's the beginning. I was starting my chaplaincy. And then I was responding many activities, many issues with the local community. I had to wake up 2 a.m. midnight when I hold the on-call chaplain stuff. Then I had to prepare for those things. Within 30 minutes, I had to respond to the issues with the community. That kind of things I did. And then I switched to the hospital chaplaincy training. I did my chaplain's internship and residency with the Abbot Northwestern Hospital. Mostly I did my mindfulness and meditation activities with the mental health units. There are 4 units. In weekly, I was teaching and had the groups in that mental health unit, weekly meditation practices for those people, the mental health issues. Those just the local activities. And also, with our temple activities, we organize the events annually, cultural community activities like Sri Lanka New Year, like especially the Buddha's birthday. But we started a special service to the community in prison system. We started the meditation and mindfulness activities at the prison, South Dakota State Penitentiary in Sioux Falls in 2010. Month after month, we travel over there and we teach meditation to the prisoners, to the inmates. That's a wonderful experience we are gaining, because in the prison we have different ethnics. Most of the prisoners they are prison in life. They cannot go out. Their lifetime in prison. So month after month, we travel over there, we make presentations and the guided meditation and discussion, and after I finished my residency of chaplains, I started to do one-to-one counseling. That's also, they can talk personally, and that's another good experience for me to help them. That's been more than 7 years. We still continue that service. The other one is 3 years ago we started the prison meditation service at the prison in Lino Lake. That's also, we travel over there, just not very far from us. It's Lino Lake is half an hour. That group mostly, they stay for short time, maybe 2-3 years in the prison, maybe a short time. But that group also very good. They have a lot of interesting to learn and practice mindfulness and those activities. Especially when you have meditation, when you have activities, our practitioners are from different backgrounds. Vietnamese, Laosian, or Nepalese, Indian, so many different backgrounds, Chinese, so many different backgrounds. They come together and they practice to develop their peace in the mind. When we practice the meditation, no label. We are developing the mind culture. We are developing the positive energy in the mind to develop non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. That's the part we are doing. We use the techniques from the teachings of the Buddha, but we use the very word of the Buddha to use the peace surrounding communities. And we have good connection with the churches and surrounding that kind of activities we conduct. But it is not easy to do these kind of things because I am the founder of the Buddhist temple. When I started the Buddhist temple in 2004, I know only one family. Then I know again another 5 families. Then 6 months later, I know 30-40 families. Now I know more than 100 families. Once, when they meet, they become more friends, close friends. Our congregation mostly from Sri Lanka, but we have other congregations. Friends, they are supporting and they are also a big part of our activities. Like a Vietnamese, Cambodian, Laos, Thai, most of the Asian countries, they have good friends joining with our community activities. That's why we see the community as a wonderful place for us to share the positive energy within and surrounding. So when I see our friends, I see as one family. But sometimes when people see me, they ask, because the monks has to be wear the robe all the time. Monks practice the celibacy life. So when I go to somewhere, sometimes people ask, what is this? I say, this is a robe. So monks has to wear that robe. So after I came to the United States, I was helping with so many volunteer activities, still I do. because we have a lot of opportunity to do so many good activities. So our life is very short. So we need to spend the time to do more good things. That's why we are working hard to do good activities. I think, thank you. If you have any questions, you feel free to ask open or personal, that's fine.